What's up guys, this is Al, and in today's episode we're doing something different. Yes, have you ever been to a place you wish you never actually went? Yes, you wish somebody warned you. Do not go there because they suck. They lied to you. They just want to take your money. Well, guess what? That's what I'm going to do for you today. In today's episode, I'm going to be giving you the 5 red flags to watch out for, especially when buying plants at your local nurseries. So let's go ahead and get started. All right guys, let's get started with red flag number 1. And that is, when you go to a nursery, they're gonna try to sell you as many trees as you're willing to buy. Even if it's the first time that you are buying trees, you just watch one of my videos, you're super excited, you went to your local nursery, and what happens when you get excited? You wanna go big or go home, right? Well, that applies to everything in life, including gardening. So a lot of you, what you are going to do is you're gonna see everything you like, especially if it's fruiting, if it's flowering, and you're gonna want to buy it because you wanna grow, you wanna be a master gardener, you wanna be self-sufficient. But guess what? Nurseries know that, and they are in the business of making money. So what they're gonna try to do is they're gonna try to sell you on everything, get you super excited to make the most money out of you. Is that a bad thing? To be honest, they're a business, they have bills to pay. So I don't blame them for doing that, but it's not honest and it's not good for you. You know why? Plants are living beings just like you and I. And just like you and I, anytime you buy a plant, well, guess what? You are responsible for that plant. You need to take care of it every single day. So, especially if you're just starting, you don't know what you are doing. And even if you do, the more plants you have, well, the likelihood of you killing all of them at once, it's a lot higher than if you just started with just one plant, built up your confidence, got it growing, and then you can go back to the nursery and buy another one. Learn. So, usually when people come to my nursery and they get super excited because I have a lot of tropical plants that cannot find anywhere else, and they see my plants in the ground growing great, they get excited and they want to buy everything. And usually, I tell them don't, especially if it's the first time they are buying trees. A lot of people want to buy mango trees. They are cold sensitive. A lot of people want to buy the Jamaican cherry or the strawberry trees. They are cold sensitive. I know a lot of people are not willing to build the structures in the winter and put heaters in there to keep their plants alive in my area. So I tell them the truth. I convince them to don't buy a lot of plants. Just start with the easier ones. The ones that can take full sun, the ones that you don't have to protect in the winter time, the ones that you literally just have to water, the ones that are bulletproof. And as they build up their confidence, they can just come back later and buy more. That's the best way to actually sell plants, because guess what? That customer is going to remember you. And they're gonna tell their friends, and next time they come back, they're gonna bring their friends and they're gonna buy plants. So that's one thing that I do completely opposite to what most nurseries do out there. And where did I get that idea from? Well, guess what guys? I was a customer just like you. And most of you right now know more about plants than I did when I first started. Red flag number 2, and that is, you're at the nursery, you're trying to buy plants. Well, some nurseries are gonna tell you, you need to buy the biggest plants that they have for sale because they are stronger, they will grow better, they're more acclimated, they are harder to kill than smaller plants. Is that true? For most plants, it is not true. But the reason nurseries want you to buy bigger plants to start with is because the net profit they make from selling you that big plant, it's a lot higher than selling a smaller plant. So, if you ever go to a nursery and they try to get you to buy the biggest plants they have, and they make up all kinds of lies for the reasons for you to do so, do not listen to them. It's not worth it. I have a lot of plants here in my nursery that grow super fast. Like this Jamun Java plum right here. These plants are extremely vigorous. Super fast growing plants. Once rooted in the ground, they can grow several feet in a single year. Right now on my other property, I have some Jamun that are about 6-7 feet tall. And the reason they are that big is because they're rooted in the ground through the containers. I can easily cut the roots, put them in bigger containers like that, and sell them as bigger plants. And easily lie to people when they come to my nursery and tell them, hey, these plants are better because they're bigger, and make more money. But no, that's not honest. What's honest is telling them to start as small as they can because these plants grow fast and that saves them money. And guess what? That gets you a customer for life. And that brings us to red flag number 3. And this one's funny, guys. So check this out. If you go to a nursery and you ask questions, whatever answer you get out of them is yes. Is this plant big? Yes. Is this plant small? Yes. Can this plant grow without water, without nutrients, without air, without nothing? Can it take care of itself? Yes. You know why? Because they just want you to buy their plants. They don't care if you kill them or not. And that's what most nurseries are going to do for you out there. And is that a good thing or a bad thing? It is a bad thing because that's what people did to me when I was a customer. I will go to all nurseries everywhere. I will ask all kinds of questions. I will ask, how big does this plant get? And their answer would be big. Can this plant take the winter? Their answer would be yes. And guess what? I've killed hundreds of plants because I didn't know what I was doing when I first started. So when people come to my nursery, I tell them the truth. I tell them what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. If you ever go to a place and they tell everything you hear out of their mouths is everything you want to hear, well, you know they're lying to you. Because gardening is not about making you feel good. It's about being honest. It's about telling you what you need to know. When people come to my nursery and they are new to gardening, I always show them plants that are the easiest to start with. Like pomegranates, super easy to grow in my area. Full sun, no winter protection, all you gotta do is water. This is a bulletproof plant, even I can grow it. If people kill this plant, I always tell them they belong in the Hall of Shame and they need to retire from gardening because they're that easy to grow. Mulberry trees are super easy to grow. Pineapple guavas are super easy to grow. So I always take them to plants that I know are the easiest to grow so that way they can build up their confidence. And when they learn more about plants and they start taking care of them, then they can come back and get the harder to grow plants. Red flag number 4, and that is customer service, guys. So anytime you have any issues with your plants, you assume the nursery selling you the plant knows what they're talking about, right? So the first thing you do if you have an issue is you call them, you text them, you email them, because they're supposed to know how to grow plants, right? Well, back in the day, that used to be true. Nowadays, it is not true. I would say at least over 90% of the nurseries out there, especially the retail nurseries, do not even grow their own plants. All they do is buy and resell plants. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? It's a good thing for the business. It's not a good thing for the customer because a lot of the people working at these nurseries, they don't know how to grow plants. So when you ask them questions, whatever answers you get, they either make it up or they simply don't know. So if you ever have any plant issues, well, you are on your own because that nursery won't be able to help you. Some nurseries out there will even take it personal if you ask questions. They're gonna take it as you're challenging their knowledge because they're master gardeners, right? They know everything about everything and you are beneath them. So if you ask questions, they're gonna flame you. Yes. Either they're gonna hang up the phone on you, they're gonna yell at you, they're gonna dismiss any questions you have and put the blame on you, not them, even though they never told you how to even take care of the plant. And whatever knowledge they have, may be accurate or not, but guess what? In their minds, they are 100% right. And whatever you do, it's your fault, not theirs. Some nurseries even go to the extent of flaming you online, especially if they have like a social media group or page. If you ask questions in there and challenge them, they're gonna make fun of you, they're gonna berate you, because in their mind, you are below them. You mean nothing. And by you challenging them, well, guess what? That's not good for business. So if you ever felt like you got berated, talked down, dismissed, because you asked a simple question, how to grow a plant, well, that's not a nursery I would spend my money on. Red flag number 5. Okay guys, check this out. So let's say you were able to get an answer out of this nursery that sold you a plant. But the answer that you got from them was to buy stuff to make your plant feel better. So if you're having plant issues and the only answers you're getting from this nursery is for you to buy stuff, most likely they don't know what they're talking about. I will completely stop taking in any advice from that nursery and just go do research online, because that is a sure way to kill your plant. Actually, I have a story about this one. This one did not make the Plant 911 series because I just didn't have time. But check this out. So this customer bought a lemon tree from me 2 years ago, right? And he was having issues. But for whatever reason, he decided to call somebody else for help. Even though I told him that if he had any issues to always call me before the tree is dead, because if the tree is dead, there's no way I can help him. But anyways, he called another nursery. And this nursery, the first thing out of their mouths was what soil amendments he used when he planted the tree in the ground. And then, I don't remember exactly what he told him, but what the nursery told him to do was to dig up the tree, buy the soil amendments this nursery was selling, and replant the tree. And that was supposed to fix the issue that he was having. Well, guess what, guys? It took me less than 5 minutes to figure out what his problem was. It was a water-related issue. He was not watering enough. I knew the minute he answered this question that it was a water-related issue. And the question that I asked was, did that lemon tree grow any since you planted it in the ground 2 years ago? His answer was no. How does that relate to water? Because that tells me the tree never rooted itself in the ground. Citrus, like most plants in general, will not grow up until they're fully rooted in the ground. They will not be fully rooted in the ground unless you take care of the tree. So if the tree wilts, if you don't give it enough water, instead of taking a year to root itself in the ground, like most trees do in my area, it may take 2, it may take 3 years, depending on how much suffering that tree is taking. That's how I knew the tree was not getting enough water. And then I asked him how often he was watering. He was watering every 3 days, and he was just filling up the little berm with water. Last summer, that was fine, because last summer we got a lot of rain. It was super humid. It wasn't as hot. But guess what? This summer, it's completely opposite. No rain, extremely hot, and this year, the tree started showing signs of being underwater. So I explained to him, and then he understood. But unfortunately, it was too late. He already had, dug up the tree and then put it back in the ground, new soil amendment. It was just too late. The tree is probably super stressed, and then guess what? It's probably going to die. But anyways, guys, hopefully these red flags help you out. If you have any questions, as always, comment below. If you have your own red flags that you want to share with everybody, comment below. I like to hear them. And as always, I will see you next time.